Hello internet, my name is Hexa. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're not, welcome back. On this channel, we talk about makeup, lush products, self-care, and general life stuff. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Alyssa Edwards and Anastasia Beverly Hills collaboration palette. In my opinion, this is one of the best eyeshadow palettes that Anastasia Beverly Hills has ever released, and I will let you guys know why. You will be seeing swatches of all of these shades, and I will also be doing two different makeup looks using this palette. I'll be doing one neutral look on one eye, like a neutral everyday wearable look, and on the other eye I'll be doing a bold, bright, colorful look to show you the full range of what is possible using this palette. In my opinion, this is extremely versatile and there's a lot of potential to do a lot of different kinds of looks with this palette. So let's dive right in. As a lot of you probably know, Alyssa Edwards is a drag queen, so this palette could very well have been expected to be very outrageous and outlandish and more suited for very colorful, bright, bold makeup looks. And that is what is suggested by this outer packaging with the hot pink. It's very bright, it's very bold, it's very out there and crazy. And the colors inside also kind of nod towards that direction. We've got yellow, pinks, purples, and blues. But if you actually take a deeper dive, a deeper look into these shades, you'll realize that there's actually also more than enough neutral shades for you to also create something very wearable for every day. So that's one of the reasons why I love this palette so much. Of course, I haven't actually tried this yet. It's brand new. I have dipped into the black for another look, but none of the other colors have been touched by me in this palette. So it remains to be seen how the formula actually is, but as far as the colors in here, I really see a lot of potential, and I think this would be great for a wide range of different looks. When this palette first came out, the very first thing that I noticed in it was this kind of group of shades over here: Brick Road, Texas Made, Dream It, and Believe. So this yellow, pink, blue, and purple. And those are very much like sunset eyes sort of colors. That was immediately like the first thing that my eye was drawn to. The first thing that I thought to do with this palette was to create a sunset eyes look, because I feel like this group of colors is perfect for that. And you know, it's very easy to get drawn into that and just think that, okay, like sunset eyes, that's the only thing that you do with this palette. However, if you take a closer look, you'll realize that actually there's a lot more that can be done here. You've got this white shade headliner, the Supreme, which is like a peachy transition shade, Hoe, or H-O-E, which is a neutral brown transition shade, Inspire, which is like this shimmery gold, like a light shimmery gold. And then over on this side of the palette, you've got Back Rolls, which is a true like dark chocolate brown. So that kind of group of 5 shades, they're all very neutral and they're perfect for like an everyday look, for going to work, or just a quick little look if you want to wear some makeup but you don't have time to do anything complicated. And then, okay, you've got the bright colors as we've talked about, but then you also have BBDC, this really like dark vampy purple, Unicorn Tribe, which is a lighter mauvey purple, which you can use to blend out that color. You've got DDG, a shimmery dark purple, Beyond, which is a kind of like a shimmery Barbie pink. It's a little bit darker than a Barbie pink. And then of course, you've got the matte black. So when you actually look at all of these shades together, there's 3 kind of looks that come to mind for me. You can do a everyday look with the neutral shades. You can do a sunset eyes or a colorful bold look using this kind of like group of 4 over here. And then you can do a darker vampy evening look, something a little more rock and roll, using those deep purples and the black. Of course, there's a whole lot more you can do, a lot more combinations that you can try with this palette, but those are kind of like the 3 looks that really come to mind when I look at it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna input a clip of me swatching all 14 shades of this palette, and then I'm going to create 2 different makeup looks, one on each eye. That's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna, film it, put some music over it, and then at the end I will give you my final thoughts on what the formula is actually like, because I love the colors in this palette, but it definitely remains to be seen whether the formula is just as good. There are a lot of colors in this palette that can be notoriously difficult to formulate. The ones that I really want to try, so I think that a company's formula is always defined by how well they can pull off the purples and the blues. So I definitely want to try Dream It in one of these looks and Believe. I don't know if I'm going to manage to squeeze in BBDC, but that is also another kind of color that can be hard to formulate. So we'll see. Like I said, I have tried the black in this palette before, and it is a very good black. It's there's not too much fallout with it, but it is like powdery enough that you can kind of blend it. It builds up nicely. It's a really good black. All right, so here are the swatches. Headliner is a white matte. Inspire is a shimmery pale gold. Unicorn Tribe is a matte medium berry pink. Brick Road is a matte canary yellow. Texas Made is a matte hot pink. Dream It is a matte royal blue. Back Rolls is a matte dark chocolate brown. The Supreme is a peachy matte. Hoe, or HOE, is a matte medium neutral brown. DDG is a shimmery royal purple. BBDC is a matte eggplant shade. Beyond is a shimmery raspberry pink. Believe is a matte true purple. Beast is a matte true black. So I did my face and my lips off camera, and these are the looks that I came up with. I really love how the neutral look turned out. It was really, really easy to blend. All of the neutral shades worked really well together and kind of just blended seamlessly. It felt like it was just like the eyeshadows were blending themselves for me, and they also were quite easy to build up without any like patchiness or resistance in any way. As for the colorful look, this also turned out really nice. I mean, I'm not super happy with the look itself, but as far as how the colors worked together, I felt that they blended in really, really well with each other. I mean, even like the blue and the purple, Dream It and Believe, blended into each other pretty much seamlessly. It was really no trouble at all working with them. BBDC surprised me because it blended actually super, super well. DDG had a little bit of an issue with the brush. It did not want to go on with the brush, so I had to apply it with my fingers. I haven't used Beyond on my eyes, but I have a feeling it will probably be the same case for that color as well. Out of all of the shades that I used, the only one that really disappointed me was actually the white headliner. It was a really good idea to include a white in this palette, and because this palette has a white and a black, I mean, that is so good for anyone who's a performer, anyone who's ever on stage, whether you do dancing or singing or drag, anything like that, if you're ever doing something where you're in front of bright lights that have a tendency to flatten out your features of your face, having a palette like this with bold colors and a matte white and a matte black is a really amazing way to give you the tools you need to deepen up and brighten any look that you need to do for stage. But unfortunately, the white in this palette for me is just really dry and the pigment isn't really there for me. So it is a bit of a bummer about the white not being that great. But I'm still glad that it's in there. Like, you can still work with it. The rest of the colors I really didn't have any problems with. I thought they blended really beautifully. They built up over each other really beautifully. The textures are all workable, and yeah, I think the formula for all of the colors in this palette except the white are really, really good. So, final thoughts. Having done both these looks and played with most of the colors in this palette, I would say that I would recommend this palette to anybody who likes both colorful looks and neutral looks, but also for anybody who wants to start out with colors but isn't quite sure where to start. This palette really gives you some colors that are more comfortable and some colors that are, you know, a bit more bold and fun. And because the formula is so great, I think it's fairly beginner friendly. You really only need a little. Pretty much with any eyeshadow, whenever you're working with eyeshadow, in my personal opinion, always start with less. I know some makeup artists have a difference of opinion. P. Louise, for example, kind of is team start with a lot of color and to blend it out. But me personally, I prefer to start with less and then just build that color up slowly, because it's easier to add more than it is to take away. It's been a pretty long time since this palette came out. I think it's been almost about a year now, or pretty much exactly a year since this came out. It came out in like May or June of 2019. And I have waited quite a long time to get this palette, but I'm very, very happy that I did. If you don't have this palette, if you've been on the fence about it, if you haven't been quite sure how to use this palette, I really hope that this video has helped you out. And if you liked the looks that I created with this, if you like the colors in here and this palette, you know, suits your vibe in any way, I would highly recommend that you get it. I think it's definitely worth the money, and I think I'll be having a lot of fun with this palette. Looking at this palette, I really do not feel like there's anything missing from it for me. This is a palette that you very much can use all by itself. You do not need to dip into another palette to get any other colors. Of course you can if you want to, but like by itself, these colors complement each other really, really well, and they kind of just like give you everything you need to create a whole variety of different looks with this palette. I mean, it's just great. The yellow is really pigmented and beautiful. The pink is amazing. Both of the pinks, the matte pink and the shimmery pink, are amazing. The purples in here all blended really seamlessly, really beautifully. The blue, like I said, blues and purples, they are difficult to formulate. The blue and so Dream It and Believe, they don't have a super like very, very creamy, easy to work with texture. But as far as blues and purples go in comparison to other ones that I've used, they are on fire, really, really well formulated. I just really did not feel that it was hard for me to work with them. What I would say for the blues and the purples is that especially these two, so Dream It and Believe, with BBDC and DDG and Unicorn Tribe, not the same thing applies, but with Dream It and Believe, I would say that it's better to use kind of like tapping motions rather than swiping motions is what tends to get the best pigment out of those kinds of colors. You kind of have to like tap it in there and lay it down like this rather than going like this, because when you're like swiping, it can kind of like mess with the texture a little bit and create a bit of patchiness with those kinds of shades. All right, so that was it for this review. I really hope that it was helpful for you guys. I haven't promoted my Patreon in a really, really long time, but I have recently updated my Patreon tiers and kind of like restarted that whole thing. So if you guys loved this video and if you want to see more, if you want to support my channel in any way and, you know, get some behind the scenes, get some extra features, please go over and check out my Patreon and support me over there. It is a massive help and I really appreciate any contribution from anyone. Currently, I'm really like trying to do my social media stuff full time, and obviously that is a huge drain on any sort of financial resources and takes a lot of time. So if I can get some support from the other side of the camera, that is always very, very much appreciated. Of course, you don't have to, and you know, just do whatever is within your means. Other than that, you can also support me by subscribing to this channel, leaving a comment or a like. That helps out with the algorithm a lot, and I just love reading your guys' comments. Getting comments for me, like as a creator, is just the best thing because I love to hear from you guys. I love to get your feedback and know what you liked, what you didn't like, how I can improve, and things like that. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you got something out of this. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you have this palette, if you don't have it, if you're gonna get it, why or why not. I would love to hear from you. And all of my social media is linked down below. I have lots of different accounts for lots of different things, and yeah, you can just scroll through those and see what piques your interest. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!